Well, hey guys, it's Thor Sandalwood, and today we are going to be taking a look at Polygon Matic cryptocurrency, which some of my subscribers let me know about um, a few days ago. I wasn't really aware of it, but what's really cool about it is it's basically the cryptocurrency that India has developed, or at least people from India. And so that's really exciting, especially since I practice Vedic astrology. So we're going to take a look at the birth chart. Um, and it's a little bit of there's a lot in that chart that we're going to have to look at. But obviously the price of Polygon Matic, I looked at the price graph today, and it's doing really good. I don't even think it's been really having a downtrend like Bitcoin has been. So that's really exciting. And I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. Thank you guys so much for coming, and should be exciting today. Let me guys clue you into my disclaimer. It's not meant to replace the advice from a qualified financial planner, and I use the sidereal zodiac, not the Western tropical zodiac, in my predictions. Predictions are my interpretation of the astrological data, and the video is for entertainment purposes only. So I don't want, you just have to throw that information out there. But, we use the traditional Vedic astrology sidereal zodiac, which accounts for the wobble of the Earth. The Western tropical zodiac didn't account for that the precession of the equinoxes, the Earth actually wobbles, much like a top. So that's one of the issues of why sometimes the Western zodiac doesn't work, is not as accurate in predictions. Too many whales in Matic. Probably, huh? So let's take a look. Also, guys, if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to grow my channel right now. The goal's 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 766 right now. I'm really wanting to show this wonderful knowledge of Vedic astrology to the rest of the world. And if you're interested in your own reading, please just go to my website, Thorsandalwood at thorsandalwood.com. Not at anything. I think I'm so used to saying my email address. But just check it out if you guys are interested. We're getting really close. Like I said, we're at, I think about a month ago, we've almost gained in the last 30 or 40 days, we've almost gained 100 subscribers. So it's actually been very quick, especially since I've been doing these cryptocurrency videos. So it's been really popular, very exciting. All right. Well, let's see what we can do. We can see with Matic here. Let me go to the chart. There's a lot going on with the chart. I don't have as many slides to show you today, so we're just going to be looking at the chart, and we're going to be looking at the Mahadashas and the Bhuktis, and then we're also going to be talking about some of the transits going on. Like there's this lunar eclipse that's going to be happening on May 26th that possibly might actually dip the price a little bit, which might be a good time to buy for a lot of you guys. So we'll check that out too. We're going to look at the Jupiter transit, the Saturn transit, the Rahu transit, and we're going to look at also that Saturn and Jupiter aspect to the 12th house in the chart too. So let's take a look, guys. First thing you guys are going to notice is in the chart, and let me pull it up on my end. Let me see. We have a Scorpio ascendant right here, Scorpio. And the birth time I have, guys, I don't think I showed you guys the birth time. So let me show you that slide really quick. So we did April 20th, 2019, 1634 UTC, Mumbai, India. We're using as the birthplace. That's the birth time of the first contract creation and a block creation. I had a couple I had like 2 different birth times, but this is the one I decided to go with. And that one is documented. If you guys want the link, I can post it down below. And let's go check out the chart again, guys. We got a lot of activity in this chart. So it's actually kind of a complicated chart. When I looked at it, I was like, oh, okay, there's a lot of things going on in this chart. So one of the things you guys are going to notice is it does have this exalted sun. Sun in the sign of Aries is exalted. And then we have, which is actually really good, you know, exalted sun. Then we have a debilitated Mercury over here in the sign of Pisces. We have Jupiter over here and its Mula Tricona sign, which means, you know, it's in its own sign of Sagittarius, which is very good. And then we have an exalted Venus. So we have 2 exalted planets here, which are very good for Matic. And we got a debilitated Mercury, which isn't so well. We'll look at the Mercury Lordship too, but we're going to go through all those. But this is one of those charts where usually you don't see that many exalted and debilitated planets. It's a very extreme type of chart to see, you know, planets exalted, debilitated. I'm so used to seeing charts that are just kind of like middle of the road, you know, and you don't see that much dichotomy in the chart. So let's go back really fast and clean that up a little bit. But anyways, you know, that exalted sun there in the 6th house, that's good for actually, that's good for enemies management, basically. Enemies, debt, you know, the sun typically burns up the house that it's in. We got the first lord over in the 7th house, and we got the 6th. You know, Mars is kind of a mixed bag for Scorpio ascendant, because it's got the 6th lord rulership and the 1st lord rulership. Sometimes, most of the times, the 1st lord in a chart is very positive, but with that 1st and 6th lord rulership, it's not exactly positive for Polygon Matic. Let's go take another look. I'm going to clean that up. One thing that's pretty cool though about the Matic, or you know, Polygon Matic chart too, is this Jupiter right here is in its own sign of Sagittarius, and that's the 2nd house. Remember, that's all about earned income. So in a person's chart, you know, with Jupiter being in the 2nd house, I would normally say that's a really good thing to have. That's going to expand how you save your money. It's going to expand your assets, because that's what Jupiter does. And Jupiter's in the sign of Sagittarius, which is obviously its own house. The issue is you have Saturn there, and then you have Ketu there. So that's where we're getting a little bit of a mixed signal there. And we'll take a look at it. Excuse me, guys. Let's take a look. So we got Saturn there in the 2nd house, which can kind of tend blockages in assets. I think the place of birth is Bangalore, not Mumbai. Kindly consider my point. Well, I can definitely look into that afterward. I bet I'm just going on the data that I got, and I had a couple of subscribers send it to me. But thank you. We can definitely look into that. We also have Ketu here in the 2nd house, which can cause some sort of, you know, Ketu is going to be a planet that dissolves whatever it's with. It tends to weaken the planets it's with. So even though Ketu shows, you know, it shows kind of expertise, because in a person's chart, it's going to show the expertise from past lives, but, you know, we're looking at a cryptocurrency. So I don't think Polygon Matic has had past lives. But when we're looking at Saturn and Ketu being there, Ketu can kind of like destabilize Jupiter and Saturn in certain ways. Or sorry, Ketu can destabilize Saturn and Jupiter. Sorry. So there's a little bit of this mixed bag. But then when I went to the Shadbala graph, and I don't have that to show you guys, Jupiter showed as the strongest planet in the Polygon Matic chart in the Shadbala, if we look at that. So Jupiter is going to be overall a positive planet since it rules you know, the fifth house here and the second house. Oops. Let me see. Oops, I didn't switch that over for you guys. Let me open up this chart a little bit more. But anyways, Jupiter is going to be a positive planet. Fifth house lordship, second lordship. It just has that influence from K2 and Jupiter that make it a little bit like it's not like so great. And then we got, you know, Moon in 12th. That's the ninth lord. You know, it's not so powerful there in the sign of Libra. And then we got Rahu in the 8th house over here. 8th house can be good for sudden gains. So maybe that's why we're seeing a lot of sudden gains, because we're going to find out, guys, that it's actually in this Mercury period. And it rules Virgo and Gemini right now. So that's the period that it's currently in. So let's take a look at some of the Dasha sequence that I see for Polygon Matic. We're going to take a look at the Dashas, and we're going to find out it's in Jupiter Mahadasha, and it was in Jupiter since the time that it was born and came into existence. It's only been, what, 2 years of when I have the birth time for? Let's see. Let's take a look at the Dasha sequence here, guys. So let's take a look at the Dashas that it's in. So if we look at the Dasha sequence right here, we're going to see Jupiter Mercury. So it entered that February 2nd, 2021. And it's going to be into this Jupiter Mercury Bhukti all the way till it enters Jupiter K2 in May 11th, 2023. And K2, obviously, the K2 period, I'm tending to think, this is my view, I usually never really consider a K2 Bhukti to be such a great Bhukti. So I'm thinking by whatever that is, May 20, 2023, you know, there could be a big drop in that. And we're going to take a look at it, though, in the chart. So let's look at this Jupiter-Mercury period first, guys. So Jupiter, obviously, that's going to be a good period for... We're going to get a little bit... Jupiter is not extremely powerful because it is kind of being... These two malefics are influencing it a little bit. But it does rule the second house, which is money. And it rules the fifth house, which is a trine house. And remember, guys, the trine houses are going to be 1, 5, and 9. The Kendra houses are going to be 1, 4, 7, and 10. All right. And the evil houses are going to be 6, 8, and 12, just for you guys all to remember all those. A lot of stuff to remember, huh, when you're looking at astrology. But the good thing about this whole thing is we're also going to see that because of Jupiter is actually activating a lot of planets. So, I mean, check out why Matic's going to probably keep going up pretty good during this period. Is we got exalted Venus right here. And Mercury is debilitated, but I think the reason why we're somewhat having a good rise here with Mercury, because Mercury is going to take on whatever influences really with the planet next to it, okay? That's one thing a lot of people don't realize. Mercury is like a very neutral planet. He tends to just act like whatever planet he's next to. So if he's next to the sun, he's going to take on the qualities of the sun. A lot of times people either have the sun or Venus next to Mercury, because Mercury is always really close by because it's the fastest moving, most inner planet closest to the sun. So let's take a look. So that's going to be very positive there. We got a good chance to make a lot of money with this because of this exalted Venus. And Venus, remember, is the Karaka for money. And it's in the 5th house. That's really good. Even though it's the 7th Lord and the 12th Lord, it's still the Karaka of luxury and money. Next thing we're going to look a little bit at is it's in this Mercury period. So we're going to take a look at that as well, guys. Let's take a look. So we have Jupiter here, and then we have Mercury here. And if we make this the Lagna, it's going to be, we're going to go 4 houses. So the effect of that Bhukti, Mahadasha and Bhukti, is going to be fourth, like fourth from, okay? That's not a bad placement. I mean, usually if you see a Mahadasha and Bhukti, if it's like 6 houses from, 8 houses from, or 12 houses from, then we can consider it being bad. So I think this is going to be a really good Bhukti for Polygon Matic. I think it's going to do very well. I think this thing's going to keep going up. This exalted Venus going on, I think the price is going to go way up. 4 figures, I don't know about 4 figures. Maybe, what do you think? I think I could get to $100 here. Let's see. We're going to take another look. So then we're going to look at Mercury, guys. And Mercury, it's debilitated in the sign of Pisces here. So it's not the strongest planet. That's the only issue here. But maybe we're going to look. It rules the 8th house and the 11th house. And remember, 11th house is all about money. 8th house is malefic. It's got Rahu there. There could be some volatility during this period. Here's the issue. So with Mercury being debilitated, what it tends to do is when a planet's debilitated, like Mercury in the sign of Pisces, it's basically the planet's not going to be very powerful. The fruits of what that planet produces is not going to be powerful. So it rules the 11th house, which is good for gains, economic gains. And it rules the 8th house, which is a Dashtana house. Now, to be quite honest, you really don't want the 8th lord to be too strong because it can create problems, obstacles, and just be general problems for the chart. So I consider this somewhat of a blessing. So I think it's more riding on the houses that Jupiter's ruling right now, because Mercury is a little bit more in a passive role within this Dasha sequence. All right, and let me take one more look at something which you guys can't see, but I'm going to take one more look at the Shadbala graph, which I should have shown you guys. But if I show you guys the Shadbala chart, Mercury is the weakest planet. Mercury is going to be the weakest planet when they consider all of the divisional charts and everything else and the Shadbala chart. It's the weakest planet in Polygon Matic's chart. So it's bad on one sense because of the 11th house lordship. You know, you want that to be strong. But then because it's protecting it from the 8th house, it's a good thing. We still see that ever since it entered this Jupiter Mercury Bhukti, though, the price has been going parabolic. So this has been a good period for it. Why stop at Jupiter when you can go to Pluto? Interesting, huh? Okay, guys, so let's go back to the dashas here. The next dasha we have going on is that Jupiter K2 dasha in May of 2023. If we go back to that chart, once that Jupiter K2, I see a big downfall during that period, guys. I mean, K2's in the 2nd house. So I'm going to be telling you guys by May of 2023, this thing could, the price could be dropping very significantly for Polygon Matic. I mean, when K2's in, that's going to be a major focus of K2, whatever house K2's in. It's in the 2nd house, which is all about asset price, money, things like that. I think around that time, and it's going to be for about a year that it's in that bukti, that's going to be kind of the time where, who knows, maybe you'll want to buy it. Now, I have heard, guys, that one of the issues, and you guys probably know in the chat because you guys are really smart with the cryptocurrencies, but one of the things I've heard that might be a threat, and maybe this is what this K2 bukti is going to be all about, and you guys can even tell me in the chat, is that people are a little bit worried. People are a little bit worried about the release of Ethereum 2.0 and how that's going to affect Polygon Matic. So maybe that's what's affecting it during that K2 period. I'm not exactly sure because I saw a mixed bag. Some people were saying it's going to affect it negatively, and then there were people saying it's going to affect it positively. So, but I feel like we're doing really good. I feel like for this, at least this Jupiter-Mercury period is going to be very good. And let's take a look at just any of the closer transits we have. You guys remember we have, the price might actually, see, I think this, remember there's this lunar eclipse happening in the sign of Scorpio? It's going to be South Node. You know, K2 is going to be there. We could see a small drop in price right after the lunar eclipse, which would be a great buying opportunity for Polygon Matic. But I see it going up again, so it's not like a huge problem. After K2 period, it looks really good. Yeah, I mean, after the maybe the K2 period is going to be that time to reassess and just buy more of it. And let's take a look at some of the transits also. So I told you guys that Scorpio eclipse, May 26th, there could be some sort of drop around that time. If you guys remember, I keep bringing up the eclipse. I kept bringing up the eclipse because, especially even in ancient India, the time of eclipse is considered like a time of bad luck. It's like a bad omen. And so that's why you tend not to want to do anything. They say don't do anything like switch careers. Don't do anything like buy a house. Don't do any big money purchases on anything around the time of an eclipse. Okay, because it's a bad omen. There's yogis that will go out and they literally just like stay in a cave for a week around the eclipse because they just don't want the eclipse energies interfering with their life too much. Now, with the transiting planets, guys, remember we got transiting Rahu's right here. So it's going to be exaggerating. And remember, it's going to be in this sign of 7th house of Taurus until April of 2022. Okay? And so we got it exaggerating Mars there. And Mars is the 6th lord and the 1st lord. Okay? So these qualities of Mars, innovation though, I mean, Mars is the planet of innovation. It's got that 1st house lordship and the 6th house lordship. We'll have to see what that does, but so far, I mean, it's been transiting the 7th house of Taurus for quite some time now. So I would expect that we would have seen a big negative event, even though Mars is the 6th lord by now. So I think it's going to be okay with that. Let's go back to the chart. We'll look at some of the other transits. You have Saturn here in the 3rd house. We have Jupiter transiting here right now in the sign of Aquarius. They're both going that way. So they're both going that way. And remember, guys, they're going to be going retrograde very soon here. So we got May 23rd for Saturn, and then we have June 20th for the Jupiter retrograde coming up. Now, I don't really see any problems there. I mean, 2, 3, we got one positive aspect I do see in all this is this 5th aspect over to 8th house Rahu. That could actually be a big sudden increase in the money. All right. Then there's going to be this aspect from both Jupiter and Saturn on the 12th house right here. It's going to be on that moon, which is the 9th lord, which could be very good for it. Let's take this. So far, guys, so far what I'm seeing is that no grocery shopping either. You might get spoiled. Well, yeah, you know, during these eclipses, you know, it's like I wouldn't tell anyone, like, I would say that's why when I was doing polka dot yesterday, I was saying like, well, you know, let's wait and we'll see how the eclipse affects the price before we like start diving in and buying. The reason I say that, guys, is because if the eclipse drops the price, it's going to be a buying opportunity. So wait for the eclipse to like kind of do its work, be a buying opportunity. So you guys are going to have to let me know on how Ethereum 2.0 is supposed to affect Polygon Matic. Right? I did hear that there was something with that. So we'll see. And I don't know when Ethereum 2.0 is supposed to be released. If that's going to, I know it's going to be released in like 5 different phases. So overall, guys, I see a very positive trend, and it's going to be because it's in that Jupiter period right now. So it's in that Jupiter period. I think it's going to be still trending up. I mean, I don't know if I would go as far to say it's going to get to like $1,000, like 4 figures. Just because I see this corresponding of different types of energies going on there. So a lot of times with these charts, there's a lot of different energies. It's not one or the other, you know. So I mean, we got that debilitated Mercury, you know, ruling the 8th house, which isn't too good. But you know, Mercury is not very powerful, so it's like these houses are very weak. So that's why I think that the Jupiter lordship of the 2nd and the 5th is going to be really what carries the day here. So I think I would keep my expectations. My analysis is it's going to keep going up, but I don't think it's going to go quite as up as you guys think it is, just because we're getting that K2 influence and that Saturn influence in the 2nd house. So we got to pick all these things all up together. The Rahu in the 8th house. Yeah, Rahu in the 8th house will tend to exaggerate. But remember, 8th house, Rahu being in the 8th house, it can make a sudden gain, but it can cause volatility. Yeah, it could magnify the price. We could look at that. I mean, Rahu, we got this debilitated Mercury here, which is going to make these houses pretty weak. But Rahu could create a sudden rise in price. The issue is going to be, is like I said, 8th house can be sudden rise, sudden fall because it's volatile. That's what people learn about the 8th house. It's the house of death and rebirth. You know, maybe Polygon Matic is going to go through kind of a rebirth. Maybe because of this Ethereum 2.0, it's going to be finding new uses for it, things like that. What do you guys think? If you guys are watching this video after fact, comment down below. Let me know what you think. I think it's going to do quite well, but I don't think quite as well as 4 digits. Thor, do you prefer Cardano or Polygon Matic? Actually, I think based on the 2 charts that I saw, I prefer Cardano. I think Cardano is going to do better. In fact, I can pull up the chart. Let me check the Cardano chart right again. I can't pull it up for you guys because I didn't set up my computer right, but let me take a look at Cardano real quick. What was Cardano in? It's in Venus, Saturn, 8th and 9th, but it's in that Venus, 7th and 10th. Venus, Mercury. Yeah, I think that overall I'm preferring Cardano. I'm just looking at the Cardano chart really fast. Let's see, Cardano is got the 8th and the 9th house lordship. But then it's going to be, remember in 2023, it's going to be entering that Venus Mercury. This is Cardano. And Mercury is exalted, 4th and 5th. Yeah, I think I see a sudden rise. In fact, what's really weird is when I'm looking at both of the charts, it looks like, hey, how you doing? When I'm looking at both of the charts, it kind of looks like around 2023 when Polygon Matic's going to go down, Cardano is going to be like making it up, like going up like a rocket. So I think I do prefer. Colleen says she agrees too. Good. I got some people agreeing. Hey, 567-890. We're kind of towards the end, but at least you made it. Is there any questions, guys? Yeah, I think I personally prefer. I think Cardano is going to do a lot better, but the Polygon Matic, I think it's going to do well until 2023, and maybe it has something to do with that Ethereum 2.0. Maybe we can always predict, right? People are talking in the chat. Well, did you guys have any questions in the chat? Tomorrow, I'm going to be taking tomorrow off and working on some projects that I have. And we're going to be doing more charts, definitely. If you guys have an idea of what kind of cryptocurrency I'll do, I might throw in a chart. I might throw in a different type of video on, what is today, Tuesday? On Thursday, I might switch it up, and then on Friday, I'm going to do another crypto. Been busy with maths. Oh, okay. You're late, man. Well, guys, I think I'm going to pretty much be calling it a day. I hope that that gave you guys some information on it. Thank you guys for coming. Namaste. Many blessings to all of you guys. I'll be seeing you guys again on Thursday. I haven't decided on the subject just yet. Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Tomorrow I'm going to take the day off, but I'll be seeing you guys very soon here. So many blessings, guys. Thank you for showing up.